In this video, we'll talk about how to access your personal data. Participants often ask, what can I do with my data once I've entered it? How do I edit data or change data from previous years? And how can I share this data with other people? There are two main ways to interact with your data. If you'd just like to see or edit your data, you can do so from the Site Summary page. To find this page, first start from the My Nests page on nestwatch.org. Next, open up your Nest site list to see a list of all of your Nest sites. Find the one that contains the Nest attempts that you'd like to view or edit, and then click the second option listed beneath it, View Site Summary. You can also find this option on the Nest site map. Once you click this option, you'll be taken to an overview of the history for this Nest site. At the top, you'll see a description of the Nest site details and a link to edit these details if you need to. Scroll down on this page to see your Nest history. The most recent attempt recorded at this location will be listed first. For each Nest attempt, you'll see a brief summary of what happened at this nest, and you can click the Show Visit Records button in the bottom right corner to get a quick view of your Nest data. If you need to make edits to the data on one of these attempts, you'll see that there's an option to edit the attempt in the upper right corner. Click this to get a full view of all of your data, including any photos you may have submitted. Photos won't show in your Visit Records drop-down. You can edit a Nest attempt at any time, so this Edit option will be available whether the Nest attempt has been summarized and ended, as this one has been, or if it's still in progress, as you can see above in this newer Nest attempt. Let's click Edit Attempt to edit the data in this closed nest. Now we're brought to the Nest Attempt page. If you scroll down, you'll be able to see all of the data that you entered and your summary data. If you spot an error, such as an incorrect date for one of your Nest checks, you can edit this data. If your Nest is still in progress, you should be able to make your edits immediately. However, if the Nest was already summarized and ended, like this one, there's one more step you need to take. Look for this Reopen Attempt for Editing button and click it to reopen the attempt. Now, you can edit the fields as normal. Once you're done editing your data, check to make sure the Save button at the bottom of the screen reads All Data Saved. If your Nest is still in progress, you can scroll back up and click the Back to Your Data button to return to the My Nests page. You can always return later to add your next Nest visit. But if you had reopened the attempt, you'll need to click the Summarize button again. Scroll down to view your summary data, make sure all of it's correct, and then click the End This Nesting Attempt button to close the attempt once more. As you scroll up, you'll see that the nest is now back in its summarized mode. You can't edit any of these fields anymore, and you'll see this Reopen Attempt for Editing button once again. If you ever need to make more changes, you can come back and click that Open again and repeat this process. We're done here, so we'll scroll to the top and click Back to Your Data. Another way to access your personal data is with our download options at the bottom of the My Nests page, below your quick summary. Here, you have three options: download Nest site descriptions, download breeding data, or download species summaries. These can be downloaded into spreadsheet files made for Excel or any program that can read a CSV file. Click on the question mark for each option to review a description of what that download will contain. Your Nest site descriptions will show a list of your Nest sites, including archived nests. Your breeding data is the raw Nest attempt data that you have submitted to NestWatch. And your species summaries include some aggregate data for each species that you have reported on your account. Please note, each download option has filters available to help you whittle down the data you wish to see, including group and by year. Again, groups can be created and edited with the Manage Groups button at the top of the page, just above your map. If you click the Group drop-down, you should see a list of all of the groups on your account, I don't have any groups on this account, so none are showing here. If you click on the Year dropdown, you should see an option for every year that you have submitted data to NestWatch. At this time, you can only download 1 year at a time, or you can download all years at once. I only have data for 2025, so I only see 2025 in this dropdown. Once you're happy with the filters you've chosen, click the Download Now button, and you should see either a save prompt appear, or the file should download automatically to your computer. If the save prompt appears, name and save your file. Once the file has successfully saved to your computer, open the file to view your data. You can open your file in Excel or another program that reads CSV or XLXS files. Once your file is open, you should see the first tab, the title page, that contains a data disclaimer. But the data that you're really looking for are on the second and third tabs. In the case of breeding data, as you can see here, you should have a breeding summary tab and also a site visits tab. The summary tab will have an overview of information for your nest, such as outcome and important dates, as you can see here. You can see 2 nests in one of these sites, and a separate nest in box 3 and box 4. Only one nest here has been completed, as you can see by the egg date, hatch date, and fledge date, the outcome, and as you scroll to the right, you'll see more summary data, like the number of young that were fledged, the maximum clutch size, total live young, unhatched eggs, and then we use the summary data to calculate a hatch rate and a fledge rate. Again, please read over that data disclaimer on the title page to understand how this data is calculated and any considerations you need to take. The Site Visits tab will list out all of the nest visits that you have ever recorded for the parameters that you chose when you downloaded the data. Since I chose all of the data from 2025, this is a list of all nest visits that I made to my nests in 2025. If you scroll to the right, you can see all of the data fields that you've entered for each nest visit, including the notes. And there we have it. That's the 2 ways that you can view your personal data on nestwatch.org.